Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Hipster Podcast. This is your host, Jamil Hassan, the Crypto Hipster, where I interview founders, entrepreneurs, executives, thought leaders, amazing people all over the world of crypto and blockchain. And today I have an amazing guest. He is the founder of IRA Financial. His name is Adam Bergman. Adam, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here.
I'm glad you're here, and this is going to be a topic that I've heard a lot about over the past 8 years, but I know really little about. So I'm really excited about learning and diving into this stuff. So I'll ask you first. To kick things off, what is your background, and is it a logical background for what you're doing now?
Yeah, I was a tax lawyer for 8 years in New York City. Worked at some of the largest law firms in the world. I have a master's in tax law. And I did a lot of corporate partnership transactions, a lot of cool deals. And I got lucky enough, my 8th year as a lawyer, my partner I was working with asked me to research whether a hedge fund client was able to invest his IRA in his hedge fund. And lo and behold, I was blown away that you can do that. I had no idea that you can do alternative assets like real estate or cryptos in a retirement account. And literally within 4 to 5 months, I quit my job, started IRA Financial. Fast forward 15 years later, we got 26,000 accounts, almost $4.5 billion in assets, and we help people unlock their retirement money to invest in alternative assets like cryptos.
Awesome. So your long-term vision for IRA Financial is to transform the financial industry. What is your mission and vision?
That's exactly it. So when IRAs were created in 1974, individual retirement accounts, Congress wanted to enhance people's direction and help people more tax efficiently save. But when IRAs were created in the code, they didn't distinguish between an IRA that bought stocks and publicly traded securities like ETFs or mutual funds and alts like cryptos or real estate or private equity. Problem is the large financial institutions, they're only going to let you buy what they make money on, like stocks or provide investment advice. So the alts that they don't make money on, they're not going to let you buy, like DeFi coins, for example. And that's been my vision, is to disrupt the retirement industry and allow people to invest in whatever they want legally, so long as the IRS allows for it. And I'll go through in a minute what you can't do. There's only 3 little things you can't do, and basically help people, educate people on the tax benefits of using a retirement account, the tax benefits of diversification and investing in what you know and trust, and hopefully helping people build a large tax-free nest egg.
Awesome. So I want to get into what you can't do, but I want to preface that by saying this is what I know about IRAs. I used to watch Susie Orman, the show, and she would say either invest in an IRA or a Roth IRA. I'm like, I still don't know the difference, and that was many years ago. So what's the overall, like, what products, what can you do, and then what can't you do?
Right. So I'll double click on that. So let's start with the pre-tax IRA. It's the most common IRA, started in 1974. 2 benefits. You get a tax deduction when you put the money in. What's a tax deduction? It reduces your taxable income, so hopefully you pay less tax. So that's number 1 benefit. Number 2 benefit is your money grows tax-free in the retirement account. So you don't pay tax on the income and gains when you generate returns in an IRA. So if you bought Bitcoin for $2,000 and sell it for 110,000, tax-free in an IRA. You don't pay $1 in tax. No capital gains, no earner income, no holding periods, no basis. You don't have to worry about anything. Now, Roth IRA, founded by Senator Roth of Delaware in 1997, you don't get a tax deduction for the Roth IRA. Okay, so that's one benefit you don't receive, but here's the catch. So long as you're 59 and a half and the Roth's been open 5 years, everything you pull out of the Roth IRA is tax-free, not a cent in tax. Whereas if you do it in a traditional IRA, once you pull the money out after 59 and a half, you pay income tax on what you pull out. So I'm a big Rother. I wrote a book, In God We Trust and Roth We Prosper. I truly believe every American should own Bitcoin in a Roth IRA. It just marries so well with the long-term nature of a retirement account and the long-term potential growth of Bitcoin. So that's the ultimate benefit. And that's why 65 million plus Americans have some sort of retirement account in an IRA.
Got it. So I'm almost 54, so I better get one. So,
yeah, we all should.
And what can't you do?
So there's only 3 little things you can't do. IRA cannot buy collectibles like art. Number two, you can't buy life insurance. You could in a 401k, not in an IRA. And the third and broadest category, it's not really applicable in the crypto world, but here it is. You can't do anything with your IRA that directly or indirectly personally benefits you, your lineal descendants, your parents, your children, your spouse, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, or any entity 50% or more controlled by such persons. So what does that mean? That means you can't buy a house and live in it. Can't take your IRA, buy yourself a Porsche. Can't take your IRA, take your family to Hawaii. Otherwise, you can do it, right? You can buy real estate, rent it to a third party, sell it to a third party. Brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins are not disqualified. So you can transact with them. You can buy Bitcoin. You can buy any type of property, private equity, venture capital, gold, hedge funds, private business stock. You can do hard money loans. I mean, other than those three little things, you can do it.
Got it. Got it. So your offerings, your primary products are the traditional, the Roth, and what other products do you offer for
So
crypto
we
investors?
work with any type of retirement account, but the most popular ones are the traditional IRA, which is pre-tax, the Roth, which is after tax. There's something called a SEP IRA, which is a IRA that has to be adopted by a business. It's a profit sharing plan in essence. There's something called a simple IRA, which is kind of like a mini 401k plan because you can't put away as much money. So in an IRA in 2025, you can put away 7,000 or 8,000 if you're over 50. Same with a Roth IRA, 7,000 or 8,000 if you're over 50. SEP IRA, you can do 70,000 to profit sharing plan. So if you made, let's say, $100,000 and you're self-employed, you can do about 20% of 100,000, giving you about 20K. A simple IRA will let you put in around $14,000 and a small catch up if you're over the age of 50. And then we also work with something called a solo 401k, which is a super powerful mini 401k plan for someone who's self-employed or has a business with no full-time employees. And with a solo 401k, you can do $70,000 or 77,500 if you're over 50. And plus, there's a super catch up if you're between the ages of 60 and 63, you can put in over 82,000. So all these products can be invested in alternative assets like cryptos or real estate or private businesses. So not only you get huge, huge retirement benefits, and you can take advantage of compounding returns and deferral, but you also get to invest in alts.
That was gonna be my next question for you, follow-up question about alts, right? So a lot of the IRAs offer Bitcoin, but as you know, Wall Street has submitted proposals for ETFs for Solana, for Litecoin, for XRP, for Cardano, for lots of others, Ethereum. What can people buy within your
Mhm.
products that they would be able to just going on an exchange or like that? What do you offer that has not been
Right.
offered before?
Right. So I've been just a little bit of history. I've been in the Bitcoin crypto world since around 2014. We were one of the first companies to let people use their retirement accounts to buy cryptos. I wrote the first book on how to use retirement funds to buy cryptos in 18. So I've been buying Bitcoin since 2014. And how I got lucky, a client told me, hey, you should buy this. And I was like, okay, I'll put in a Roth IRA because if it goes to the moon, then it's going to be tax free. And that's kind of what happened. And we kind of were talking offline. A lot of people told me I was stupid. My financial advisor is like, you should never buy that stuff. It's so crazy and so risky. It's a total sham. And guess what? It's been my best performing investment of my lifetime, and it's created like millions of dollars of wealth for me tax free. So what do they know? But bottom line is, so what's the benefit of like using an IRA Financial versus Fidelity? Number one, you can buy the cryptos, literally buy them, right? You can buy the coins. You're not owning a share in an ETF. You can actually buy the Bitcoin. You can buy the Ethereum. You can buy the Litecoin, the XRP. You actually own the coin. Number two, if you go directly onto an exchange, you're not going to be able to use it. You're not going to be able to invest through an IRA like Coinbase or Kraken or Robinhood. Robinhood, you could in some cases, but not in like Coinbase or some of the larger exchanges. So companies like IRA Financial, we allow you to buy cryptos in a retirement account. We do all the administration. We also let you do it through a 401k, SEP, and different types of IRA. So we have the expertise in the IRA world to help you from a tax planning standpoint, also allow you to do it very easily and cost effectively.
Got it. Got it. So that sounds good.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You said these are IRAs. I'm going to dive into what you can't do. One of the areas is life insurance. Um, it's funny because back in 2018, I had gone through the Northwest Mutual training program, and they said, "Okay, you can join us, except one little thing: these cryptos, you can't be in it." I was like, "I choose to be in crypto." They said, "Okay, bye." Why is the life insurer? Why are life insurers, still against cryptocurrencies? Because it seems like it would be able to benefit their clients.
I think it's just because life insurance companies have to be conservative. They're also state regulated, so there's it's probably a state regulation in terms of what can be in a life insurance asset bucket. So it may not even be directly at the company. It may be more of a regulatory issue. That's all going to change, right? Like 5 years ago, J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon said, Bitcoin's a sham, a fad. He would never allow for it. And in fact, if you were a crypto company, J.P. Morgan would not bank with you. That, that's changed. Okay. We see what's happening in the SEC, what's happening with the CFTC, what's happening in Washington. Cryptocurrency and that taint is going away, which is great. Because as an investor, we should be able to invest and gain access to emerging assets. And no matter what these people think, Bitcoin's not going away. It's only going to get more powerful. Now, maybe some of these meme coins, there needs to be some maybe regulation in terms of, is there utility? Is it property? Is it a collectible? Like, what is it from a tax standpoint? But of course, we should be able to invest in it.
Yeah. And I separate the memes from the NFTs. Right now, you said you can't invest in collectibles, right? Um, that seems to me like that would be a good investment opportunity. Is it because it's too speculative, or
No.
why?
Yeah, so when IRAs were created in 1974, obviously the marketplace was not as refined as it is today. Like now with art, there is a market. You can get ascertainable market for art and even baseball cards, right? My kids do all kinds of football cards, basketball cards. There's a market. You can sell this thing. There's liquidity in it. 30, 40 years ago, there was not. So, these rules need to be updated, but unfortunately, nothing happens very fast in Washington. So we're still stuck with these archaic, collectible type rules. But yeah, it's really just ascertainable value. There's nothing else to it.
Got it. Got it. So you said um, that you're looking to disrupt the retirement industry. The retirement industry has been massively disrupted over the past decade because all the companies moved from defined benefit plans to defined contribution plans, and that doesn't really help the employees and the 401k holders as much as it helps the companies, right? So how do we break down that beneficial to the companies and get the benefits back to the people and the employees again?
Yeah, so it's actually an excellent question. See, yeah, in 1974, ERISA was created. It really accelerated the growth of defined contribution plans, which are 401k plans. Prior to 1974, only large companies like GE, the auto companies, the airlines, they offered pension plans, which were called defined benefit plans, which basically provided pensions, defined benefits to their employees over many years. The problem with those plans, they are amazing plans, and I actually own two companies that do many defined benefit plans for small businesses. The problem with those plans are very hard to run, very expensive, and they were putting companies literally into bankruptcy because they had all these defined benefits for many, many years that they had to basically account for. So the nice thing about defined contribution plans is they're easy to set up. They're not as costly for the employer. And what Congress felt, and dependently if they're right or wrong, we'll see. I think they're right, is that if you make it too expensive for companies to offer these plans, no one's going to offer them. So then the employers are going to lose. So let's make it easy for the employers to offer pension plans in the form of a defined contribution plan, and then the employees can benefit. So you are right. In a defined contribution plan, it's elective. You have to put money in, whereas a defined benefit plan, the employer puts the money in for you. So what Congress has done is they've created things like profit sharing or safe harbor matches, where the employer would give, let's say, a 3, 4, 5% match in order to secure that the highly compensated employees would be able to max out. So they're trying to incentivize businesses to offer plans and also provide some benefits to the employees at the same time.
Got it. Got it. So there's been talk, and I don't know where I lost track of this. Maybe you can help me here. There's been talk over the past decade, that all the pension plans are going to go bankrupt. So, and we have a massive pension problem.
Yeah.
I want to find out what the state of that problem is and how companies like IRA Financial can help solve that problem.
Yeah, so that problem's tied into pre-1974 defined benefit plans. Companies like GE and Ford and American Airlines, they're literally these plans are underwater. So yeah, this what's going to happen is the government's going to step in and there's something called there's these plans are guaranteed basically by the government, so they will get made whole, at least in most respects. So what can we do? So what Congress wanted to do is the IRA world was basically created to allow individuals to supplement money they've saved in a 401k with additional savings in an individual retirement account to basically boost their own retirement nest egg as a supplement to what they contribute in a 401k, but also what they get from Social Security. So there's different types of, I'm working on a really interesting annuity product that's going to be able to give guaranteed returns to folks that enter the program to basically solve what you're trying to get at, is basically allowing employees to get access to retirement savings in an efficient manner.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. But now I also have to get at something else because, like I said, I'm old as 54. I'm going to be 60, and it's going to be in a blink of an eye. The thoughts are that Social Security in the U.S. is going to be bankrupt too. You know that.
Yeah.
So what's how can Bitcoin help? You know, solve that issue.
So first of all, I don't think it's going to go bankrupt because no politician's going to let it go bankrupt, because whoever lets it go bankrupt will never get elected ever again, and their party's not going to get elected for 25, 30 years. So I don't think that's going to happen. But what could happen, and this is the importance of Bitcoin, this is why I'm so bullish on Bitcoin, especially the last year or so, 2 years since COVID, is the US dollar. We're going to have inflation and we're going to have a weakening US dollar, because what the government's going to have to do is they're going to have to print money. Okay. They're going to have to print money to cover all our deficits, all our debt, all our spending, which ties into, Social Security, right? We're not going to have enough money that we collect. So we're going to have to print money to keep Social Security standing. So that's why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, because it's I think a really good hedge against a weakening US dollar and especially inflation.
Got it. So we're going to print money because there's going to be inflation. So what other global, that's a global, macroeconomic factors are driving this need to invest in alternative assets?
Well, I think if you look at the macro consensus, it's always been okay. Always you can always buy U.S. dollars and treasuries. It's a safe haven for the world, and no matter what is going on in the rest of the world, like there's always the U.S. dollar as a safe haven. Well, we have gone spending crazy over the last 5 years, and it's not just Democrats, Republicans too. And you see what's going on with Trump's tax bill now. Even Elon Musk came out and said, "Hey, this isn't good. It's too much. There's too much spending. There's not enough cuts." And everyone sees the writing on the walls is that we're pushing $3 to $4 trillion each year into our deficit. We just, if we're not going to cut programs, if we're not going to raise taxes or find other ways to spend our way and boost our way out of this through revenue generating items, like we're going to be in a black hole. We're not going to get out. So what people are saying is that, hey, the US dollar is not so safe. That's why the treasury yields on 10 to 30 years are going up, because people are saying, hey, if you want me to buy US dollars, that's fine. You need to give me a better return because I'm not feeling so safe in the US dollar anymore.
Yeah, I'm not feeling safe because I can not continuously, but periodically check the debt clock, which shows that we're at $36 trillion in debt, and I'm wondering how we're gonna get out of how we're gonna be able to get out of that, and how can people secure? Like I've interviewed people from Venezuela and Turkey before where they had hyperinflation. How can we avoid hyperinflation, and how can your products be a safe haven for investors?
Yeah, I mean, I've a lot of friends from Venezuela. I live in Miami and Argentina, and like literally, you wake up one morning and your currency's like devalued 40%. It's killer with hyperinflation. You literally can't run an economy. So what we need to do is we need to cut spending. We basically need to go back to pre-COVID and basically say every program, whatever the budget is today, we got to go back to 2019. and there will be a little pain. We also have to probably increase taxes on the wealthy, which, is what it is. But how could retirement accounts help? Well, number one, you're going to grow your money tax free in a retirement account. So taxes will have to come up, whether it's in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, taxes are coming up. I promise you that. It's the only way we're going to be able to lock down our deficit. It's one way at least. So if you save in a retirement account, you don't pay tax. So that's one benefit. Number two, if you get to invest in alts like Bitcoin or real estate, you can invest in hard assets, hedge against inflation. Much easier to do that than if you buy stocks. Now, another issue that's, I think, impacting all of us as investors is, we all own S&P 500, right? But it's really 10 companies, 7 to 10 companies make up the S&P 500. That's it. I mean, there's 500 companies, but it's really 10 companies make up, 90% plus of the value of the S&P 500. So we're all concentrated in 8 or 10 companies. And I'm not sure if you know, but if you look at companies that have 100 million in revenue, over 80% are privately held. So that means if all you're doing is buying publicly traded securities, you're losing access to 80% of the great American companies because you're not buying private investments. You're not doing alts. All you're doing is buying publicly traded securities. So that's where the retirement system, especially the alternative asset, self-directed IRA world, could help you. It will give you exposure to private businesses, Bitcoin, DeFi coins, gold, whatever you want to mix in your bucket to help diversify.
Got it. So then what in I didn't know that 7 to 10 companies made up most of the port S&P. That's how disconnected from the stock market world I've been since 2017. But like, what will you think will be an optimal like portfolio,
Yeah.
within your IRA?
Okay. So listen, I'm just a tax lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you look at what Larry Fink said, who's the CEO of BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, he thinks at least 20% of your assets should be in private assets, meaning not publicly traded, not mutual funds, not ETFs, not stocks. So what I do personally, and not giving anyone any investment advice, just my personal take is I have around 50% in equities, 40 to 50%, depending on the time of the year. And then the rest is there's some fixed income, some debt I own. I also do hard money loans, which I tend to do myself versus buying bonds. And the rest are in alts, real estate, gold, cryptos.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, I wasn't asking for investment advice,
Yeah.
we stay away from that
Yeah.
on my show.
Oh, you don't want mine. My best has been Bitcoin. Honestly, everything else has been whatever. I've like hit the market. The best thing I ever did in my life was buy Bitcoin 11 years ago. It's literally changed my life.
Yeah, seeing that all over. So that's great. I do want to touch on something that you said earlier. We seem to have a friendlier SEC now than we had under Gensler, when under
Yeah.
the Biden administration, and even just this morning they dismissed their case against Binance,
Yeah.
which
So
I think is going to be a big deal, right? With the friendly SEC, what opportunities can we look forward to? We haven't seen yet so far, and how does it play into the investing that you enable for your clients?
yeah, so I think the nice thing is we want to make sure that America becomes the center of the crypto world. We don't want cryptocurrency. We don't want the Wall Street of cryptos to be in China or Singapore or Hong Kong or anywhere else. It needs to be in the United States. Why? Because we're the best country in the world and we have the best regulators and the best court system. So if there are problems in the system, we want to be able to adjudicate them in America, not in Singapore or in China. So that's number one. And we want all the great technology to originate here. We want all the jobs to be driven by Americans. So I'm really happy about that. I still think, listen, I don't think all regulation is bad. Just like banks need to be regulated, crypto exchanges need to be regulated. I think the SEC's mistake under Gensler was they went after the coins. And that was a mistake. Instead of going after the coins, they should have focused more on regulating the exchanges. Because where people are losing their money is through fraud, right? Through phishing, through all these different types of fraud expeditions people are losing their cryptos. So if they forced the exchanges to act more like a bank in terms of safeguarding, insurance, protecting their customers, that is what I would have done. I think going after and arguing, Ethereum's a security or XRP's a security, that was stupid. I mean, anyone in their right mind who's buying cryptos, we're not dumb. We're not stupid. We know the risks, okay? We know cryptos, Ethereum, Solana, even Bitcoin, there's risky. It goes up, goes down. We know that. So focusing on whether it's a security, that was just an internal money grab by the SEC to try to get authority away from other government agencies. I think that was misguided. They should have focused on protecting customers and helping secure the exchanges and forcing them to have insurance to protect their customers. So I'm really bullish on the whole crypto market, but especially making sure it's in the US. Like the issue with Binance, it's in China, okay, or it's in Singapore or in UAE. So if you have a problem with Binance, good luck suing them. Good luck getting your coins back. I've tried for some clients. It's a nightmare. There's not even a phone number. You got to send an email to an info box, and no one will ever respond to you.
Yeah, Binance. I had a wonderful podcast 3 years ago where I interviewed a law firm who was suing. There was a class action suit against Binance, and the thing about Binance is they're everywhere, but they're nowhere.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know,
So I'll give you a quick anecdote. I had a client that lost $800,000 of Ethereum through some phishing, scam, and they actually found it on a blockchain. They hired a company. They found the Ethereum on a blockchain in a Binance account. Okay, they hired a law firm. They got the FBI involved. This is 3 or 4 years ago. It's still there. It's still in a Binance account. Binance will not unlock it. You can't even get anyone to talk to you.
yeah. So, with that said, there are better alternatives like you. You
Yeah.
know, how do you encourage clients who might be on the fence about crypto being a wise investment or risky investment? How to use that for their retirement? How do you get them off the fence to join, to buy and to invest? How do you get them there?
I mean, honestly, every American should have some percentage of their retirement account in Bitcoin, whether it's $1, whether it's $1,000 or $1 million. That's based off your financial, position, your level of risk reward. But there's no risk. You're going to lose your money. Okay, you can lose 1,000, you can lose 5,000. The reward far, far outweighs the risk. Okay, we know Bitcoin's not going to zero. Okay, so yeah, could it drop 20, 40, 50, 70%? It could. Absolutely. So when you put your money in, you have to say, okay, just like I'm investing in a private business, there's a chance I may lose 60, 50, 80%, but it's actually less risky than doing a private business because with a private business, you're either going to make it or not. You're going to either lose your money or make some money. With Bitcoin, it's not going to zero. So it's just a matter of how much you can lose. And then I outweigh my risk reward. Okay. My risk is that, yeah, I may lose 40, 50%, maybe less if I decide to trade it because there's a liquid market. I can trade it anytime I want. But my reward is I can 50x my money because even though Bitcoin's over 100,000 right now, as we talk, it's going to hit 200,000, I think, within the next 12 months. And then, in the next 10 years, I think it's going to hit 1 million. So the reward far outweighs the risk. And I think it's a no-brainer. And literally everyone who's not buying Bitcoin or Roth IRA to some degree is making a huge mistake for their future. Huge mistake.
Got it. Got it. I understand. Well, I want to thank you. I got a good lay of the land from you. So thank you
Yeah.
very much for your time today. I have one last question. How can people find out more information about you, about IRA Financial? How can they become clients of yours?
Yeah, thanks. So you can go to irafinancial.com, tons of info. You can check our YouTube channel at IRA Financial and just learn as little or as much you want to know about self-directed IRAs, 401ks, all the details, the rules, or just kind of get into the fun stuff like what you can buy, how to do it, cryptos, and the like. Tons of good info. You can call us. We don't charge for consult. We have 100+ team of incredibly smart tax professionals. So if you have questions on IRAs, Roths, hey, how does this work? Does this make sense? Can I buy this? Is it prohibited? Call us, contact us, chat us. We're happy to help.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. It's great.